Hello everyone. Today I'll be installing my dynamic timing spacer from M&H. When you order the kit, this is what you'll get. Here's their label with some information. It comes with 2 Bosch O-rings. They're identical. Comes with the timing spacer. It's machined aluminum. And it comes with this washer to maintain the spring preload, and then 2 longer screws. I believe they're metric of some sort. I will show you where it goes and how to install it. Okay, so we're at my truck now, and I'm going to remove the KSB, I believe it's called. I'm not sure what it stands for, but it's that right there. As you see, I have my pump top off. That's for other projects. You obviously don't need to take your pump top off to remove the KSB. So you're going to need to remove the wire that plugs in right there. That fitting right there that goes onto that line. And then over there, kind of, and over there, below that housing, are 2 Torx screws, T30, that you will need to remove. Be very, 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 very careful not to strip them, because it looks like they'll be a pain in the ass if you have to drill them out or something. I came close to stripping one of these heads because it was very tight. Actually, this is important to note. See, I have 2. Both of these guys are T30. See that? But look at those. Which one would you rather use? I almost stripped out one of the heads with this one. So luckily I had this one. So all these, I'm going to throw them out. After this video, I'm going to throw them all out. They're junk. So make sure you have a good sharp, high quality Torx head. Anyway, loosen those 2 screws and then loosen the fuel line, and you will be able to remove the KSB. Okay, so I have this fuel line's loose, and I removed 1 screw, and now I'm going to remove the other one. There is a screen, or a spring behind there. There goes the other screw. My hand there to catch the parts that might fall out. KSB, I'll put that aside. See, there's the spring. And there's the old O-ring. And inside the KSB there's this shim. That's all there is to taking it apart. Now I'll put this back together. Alright, I've cleaned out the O-ring groove on the pump and installed the new O-ring in there. You can see that green circle. I've also installed the O-ring onto the timing spacer. And I cleaned out the housing there and of the KSB, and I installed the spring washer, preload spacer, whatever you want to call it. And something to note that happened off camera, another one of these washers, spacer washers, came out that was behind the spring inside the pump. So I don't think it really matters which side of the spring the washer's on, but I'm going to reassemble it the same way. I'm going to put in the first washer, and it's a little wet with fuel in there, so it stays in. Now I'm going to put the so the O-ring side of the spacer goes towards the KSB, like so. I put, oh shit, don't turn that upside down like I did or the washers are going to fall out. Alright, so I got everything ready and loaded in. I put some anti-seize on the screw threads. Everything's as clean as I can manage to get it. Oh, let's put the spring in there first. So I got the first washer in, got the spring in. Okay, everything's lined up. Get these started in by hand. And I'll finish it off with an Allen wrench, because these new screws come with an Allen wrench. So here's a good view before I tighten it up. There's the KSB. This is looking down from my perspective. You can see the spacer, the O-ring for the spacer, and the O-ring that's in the pump. Well, I got it all back in there. The only problem I had was the rearmost screw, the one towards the firewall, seemed like it was a little bit too long, and I wasn't able, it got tight before it actually tightened the flange up onto the pump. So all I did, I took it out and I ground about maybe 3 threads worth of length off the end of the screw and chamfered the end and dressed the threads with a triangular file, and went back in fine and mounted up fine. I didn't have any issue with the front screw, so I didn't bother with it. It seemed like it tightened up just fine. Then I put that fuel line back on there. Be very careful with that. I almost messed up the threads there because I didn't have it going in quite straight, and I almost stripped out or cross-threaded the threads. So take your time playing with everything so it goes in just right. And the last thing I need to do is attach the wire, but I went to attach the wire and the plug came off. So who knows if the KSP was even working while I was driving the truck. It was just hanging and dangling by a thread. Maybe it worked sometimes and didn't some other times, who knows. So I will disassemble this and solder or crimp on a new connector and plug it in, and that part of my truck build will be done. So just a little discussion for those of you wondering exactly what that spacer does. If you look online, you can find some more technical, in-depth descriptions, but basically, I don't know the precise mechanics of it, but this device controls the timing, the injection timing of the pump, and the higher the engine speed, the more of an timing advance you want for optimum power and fuel economy and EGTs and everything. And so how this mechanical pump accomplishes that is there's a vane pump inside the injection pump, and as the engine spins, the vane pump spins and creates some internal pressure inside the pump. I don't know how many, I don't think it's that much pressure, maybe a couple PSI or something, I really don't know. But depending on the engine speed, it'll create a different amount of pressure. And that pressure works against a plunger or a piston, which is inside that hole that you uncover when you take that solenoid off. It works against that plunger and against that spring, and as that plunger moves, it varies the timing somehow. That's the part that I don't know, but that's the basics of it. And that spacer allows more travel of that plunger, and more travel means more timing. So that's the basics of it. Hopefully that clears it up for some of you guys, and this helps you install your M&H dynamic timing spacer. Questions, comments? Leave a comment. Leave me a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video. And stay tuned for more Cummins VE pump upgrade videos. Thanks for watching.